I don't know if this is working or not. This is my first time trying a YouTube live stream like this. Hi, this is Cheyenne. And how am I going to tweet this out? Da, 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 da. There we go. Come watch. Okay. Hey, hi folks. This is Cheyenne Wright. I'm a freelance illustrator, and I am just going to be live streaming as I sketch a drawing for somebody here. I'm using a program called Clip Studio Pro, which it used to be actually Manga Studio Pro. Can I get a confirmation that people can hear me? Is this working? Let's try a new yeah, let's go vertical for this. Okay. Put out a call the other day for sketches that people might want me to work on, and I decided to do this one as a live stream. It's not going to make me feel nervous about this in any way. So, let's see. I got some reference material I need to call up. Just learning the ins and outs of this. I also want to test out this new microphone. I got a mic on a boom arm here so that it can be close to me without getting in the way. And I have the television screen in my office. I have a big old Twitter feed, so if anybody wants to ask me any questions, you can just tweet it to @CheyenneWright. Put the hashtag in SketchaThing, and I will. It'll immediately pop up on the TV in front of me, and I can answer it with minimal effort. If you'd like to know more about my art, you can go to www.arcanetimes.com, where you can see all sorts of various illustrations I have done over the years. There's plenty else there to look at it too, including comics and many links to my various podcast experiments as podcasting's Mr. Butteryman voice. I do a lot of readings of horror and science fiction stories for a variety of audio short story podcasts. Lots of fun. Go check it out. All free. Enjoy. Alright, so where did I stick this art? I stuck it in my morgue. My art morgue. Where things go to die. Here we go. Alright. So, this is a fellow named Brand who wanted me to draw him in the style of my old podcast avatar art, which you can see on my website. and draw him as if he was Captain Nemo from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Hold on one moment. I'm going to see if this is actually working before I get started. Be right back. Live, haha! Eli? Nope. Okay. I was going to ask my wife to call up a stream in the other room and see if she could see it. But she is not in the living room, so I am assuming she is out catching Pokemon. So, let's see if I can do it myself here. Call it up on my phone, turn the volume down so that it won't create any sort of nasty feedback loop. I'm not the. Oh, it does show me as being live. Okay, cool. And I see someone has said yeah, you're good. All right, cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Meg. That confirmation will let me will let me stop worrying about this. I'll keep worrying, but I can kind of stop worrying and get back to drawing. Okay, so here we go. I just don't have enough screens. Trying to monitor everything at the same time. Alright, so Captain Nemo. That's the goal of today. A little Captain Nemo sketch. And if you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to. I'm really in close there, aren't I? Just start with a big fat brush. There we go. I gotta get my chatter down here. I know it's one of the things, if I'm going to be doing this sort of stuff more regularly, I need to be able to just talk and talk and talk and while I do this, and that is a skill for which I am not entirely prepared for. It's a good pose here. This is going to look like a mess while I get started. What would be a good pose for a Captain Nemo? That's probably good. Yeah. He sent along a bunch of reference art. and he asked me to do this sketch, and so I'm just going through it, the folder, and looking at what he sent along. That's smaller. Let's see. So today is Saturday. If you're watching this later, it's the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. The rest of the people I work with over at Girl Genius are all down in San Diego selling comics and signing books. And I am here in Seattle enjoying the fine, cool, crisp weather we are having today, instead of the searing asphalt heat of Southern California, for which this is a blessing of which I count myself. I do not do well in hot weather. My brain shuts down at anything above 80 degrees, which is interesting considering that I grew up in Hawaii, born and raised. I moved to Seattle, and because I wanted to do something during the summer other than sweat, and that is not possible, or wasn't possible when I was growing up. Sweating was pretty much the national pastime. What is the DPI on this? Is really low. Let's see. Image resolution. Yeah, it says 600 DPI. What is going on? Wait, how big is this? Maybe that's the problem. Canvas size. It's in millimeters. No wonder. Let's change this to... Yeah, this was tiny. Alright, so let's make this 10 by... No, let's actually make this 10 high, 8 wide. And that's... Yeah, that's a little bit better. Tiny, but a little bit better. I feel foolish. Oh well. Let's get this sketch. This should give some better line work. Alright, so there we go. Much better. Ooh. This mechanical pencil. So yeah. Manga Studios has got some great sketching chops here. It's really good. I've pretty much almost entirely abandoned actual pencil and paper once I started using this. I was already playing around with... I mean, I do all my Girl Genius coloring in Photoshop, and I was doing all my illustration work in Illustrator for the longest time. The blob brush did a really good job of for inking, but a friend of mine, another professional illustrator, really kept telling me about Manga Studio. and singing its praises to me. So I finally went out and got the standard edition for version 5, and because I couldn't afford the high-end version, the pro version at the time. Still can't really yet, but it, more than just a tool for making comics, it is so good at sketching that I pretty much kind of abandoned Illustrator almost immediately and converted all my work to this. I've tried to use it for coloring, but still can't throw off that the muscle memory and the years I've put into Photoshop. It's just too hard of a habit to break. I'm sure if I'd really delved into it, I could find all the little settings that would make me get Manga Studio here to act exactly like Photoshop does, but I just haven't had the time. Freelance art is all about time management, really. Any time you spend doing something that isn't making money is often it's really hard to just make a living, and so you kind of gotta just dedicate all your free time. I mean, I'd love to, see my family enjoy themselves, but Daddy's got to work, Daddy's got to pay the bills. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so question about why did I change from a black brush to a blue scale sketch? That's well, that's just as I'm working, I get a rough pose done, and then I want to I want to work on that some more. But if you keep layering pencil over more pencil over more pencil, it gets hard to see what you're doing. So you can see this very rough skeleton here that I've created for my drawing, and then that guy on top of it. I can turn these layers off. I keep them on separate layers. So I turn off the blue scale I was working with, and now I have this guy, and I want to refine this further, so I can turn him blue, knock it down, and then I create a new layer and start drawing over this one, just sort of refining the illustration as I go along, tightening it up. And if I ever want to come back, and if I'm not understanding, if I can't understand my own line work for some reason, I can turn that off. Manga Studio has a great little effect panel here that just with a click can turn an entire layer into a blue scale or any other color that you might want. You just change the color here. I want to go blue and then red or something like that. Turn it on and off. It doesn't affect the line work at all. It's just like a filter that it throws down over it. Alright, so I'm looking at this guy, and he is looking a little weird in the legs. What was that? Got a little bloop. I'm not seeing it. Let's see. There's a comment. Nope. No. Okay. All right. So This guy's looking a little weird in the legs. There's different ways of checking that out. Let's see. Let's go to the rotate tool. Look at him upside down. There's also a kind of flip him. Yeah, you see, when I flip him like this, you can totally see how weird that pose looks. Gotta work on this, refine it a little bit further. Let's see. It's a good way to catch odd proportions, flipping the image like that. I'll just copy those legs onto a new layer, and then I can kind of play around with it a little bit until it looks better to me. It's a little bit bigger. Just gonna lean back here and squint a little. Yeah, let's go with it and see how. Let's see. Horizontal again. Back to that. And let's knock him down to blue lines. And start a new layer. Microphone gets in the way of my keyboard. That's a little thing I gotta remember here. Alright, so back to the pencils. Now this wasn't going to be this is just supposed to be a quickie sketch, not a full rendered piece. I won't have to worry about that too much. I'm going to go in here and start working on the head a little bit. Funny thing is, Brand sent along some reference photos of himself, and looks an awful lot like me. So that's going to be confusing for some people who know what I look like. They're going to think that this is just a drawing of me as Captain Nemo, something I am not necessarily adverse to. But it is not me. It is a fine fantasy science fiction author named Brand Gamblin. And go look him up. He's awesome. There's a great YouTube series called Calls for Cthulhu as well, which is sort of like a call-in show for Cthulhu. Go watch that. Enjoy. If I say he looks like me, in the sense that he's a white guy, shaved his head, likes to play around with his eyebrow raising, as do I. Beard, mustache. Only so many combinations of that you can have. You know, I think I want to go a little bit more dramatic on that eyebrow. So let's do this. Yeah, maybe that's too dramatic. La da 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 dee, la da 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 da. I am not singing a copywritten song. I'm just making it up as I go along. Not gonna hit me with a cease and desist because I am singing a song that doesn't exist. Ha ha. Yeah, it's good. I like that. Alright, so this costume is heavily influenced by the Captain Nemo from Alan Moore's League League of Gentlemen. I'm sorry, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. There we go. A little bit more of a smirk. It's hard to add a smirk to a face under a mustache. That's the problem with the beards and mustaches, and why children and dogs are afraid of us bearded folk so much. You can't really make out our expressions too clearly. So gotta really exaggerate the mustache as if it is part of the lip itself. When the lip goes up, that mustache really gets exaggerated up. La ta dee ta 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 ta. Yeah da dee dee dee. Ta 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 ta. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. All right, we need some dramatic sailing music. Well, some sea shanties. That's what I should be singing. Yeah, ta 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 ta. I don't know any sea shanties. I tweeted out a joke a couple weeks ago, but I'm serious about it. I want someone to start up a cover band that does 80s music as sea shanties. And suggested that they name the band Arha. And should anybody do that, I will draw your album cover for free. Because that would be awesome. Some nice tall boots. Boom, boom, boom. So it is like that. I know it still seems sketchy, but that's the point, right? These are sketchy Saturdays. Again, let's see. What else is there? I'm gonna do a little window in the background, and let's see if I like this. Create a new layer. If I put the Captain Nemo turban on him, a lot of people forget that Nemo is in the original 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea story. Nemo is supposed to be from the Indian colonies in India, not a white man like the fellow who played him in the original Disney film, James Mason, but actually a fellow of Indian heritage. Nemo not being his real name. He's supposed to be an Indian prince, actually. Alright, so if I do this, you lose the bald head, which is a defining feature of brand. I do not know. If I leave it off, I think I can sell Nemo without it. I think I'm going to leave it off for now. If he asks later that I put it back in, that's easy for me to do. But I will add some other accoutrement to help sell that captain of the Nautilus. Save it here. Oops. Let's see. La-di-di-di. Alright, so you folks are hearing me, but are you, how's the sound quality exactly? This is a new microphone. I'm curious if it's working well or not. Am I fading in and out? Should I be closer to the mic, like maybe up to here, or further back? Just some general information would be useful for future reference. I'll get a chance to watch this in playback later, but if I can change anything while I'm working live, that'd be nice. And let's see. Oh yeah, that's good. There, and then let's see, I'm not going to be using that. Oh, whoa. Undo. Rotate. Okay, I'm not going to be using that head, so I'll be able to use this to draw. Let's put that circle back in that I wanted originally. It'll be a nice, massive porthole behind him. Okay, cool. Sound steady, no fade. Excellent. Like again, if you're watching this and not wanting to use the YouTube chat system, feel free to send me a tweet at Cheyenne Wright on Twitter, hashtag SketchaThing, and it'll pop up on my big monitor across the room, and I'll see it, and then I will know that someone has asked something of me. All right, back to this. It's a nice porthole. Let's turn off the this, and let's work on a final refined version of Brand here, and then I will work on the background. So knock him back down to the blue, knock that down, and let's get in real close to that face. Again, this is not meant to be a final, fully realized illustration. Where if I were doing that, then I would be make this a vector layer, and I'd go into the inking tools in Manga Studio. But I am not doing that. This is just meant to be a pencil sketch, a quickie little thing for the day. Something really just to help me test out this streaming software that I have here. It's really the purpose of this. And I can always go back and do an inked version later, should I feel. Am I still streaming? Oh yeah, I lost the stream. Oh, am I back on? It says stream is continuing. Stream resumed. Okay. Alright, good. That's good. Alright, good. Back for now. Excellent. Interesting thing about Nemo. Nemo appears in two different Jules Verne stories. He's most famous for his appearances in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but he's also a major character, so to speak, in Mysterious Island. And the interesting thing about Mysterious Island is Nemo, I mean, this is spoilers for a book written almost 100 years ago plus, so I'm assuming it's safe for me to mention this. But in Mysterious Island, Captain Nemo has built this island where he has attempted to use his various mad science skills to find a way to feed the world, primarily by growing gigantic versions of food, and as a result, gigantic creatures as well. And so there's this whole island of giant crabs and humongous mangoes and stuff like that. And he's got a secret submarine base on it, and it's unclear how where all this stuff has come from to the people who discover the island. Eventually, they find his secret lair, but Nemo is dead. His, I believe, if I recall, his body is there on the island, and which is interesting because the timelines of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Mysterious Island, actually, due to possibly just some publisher's error, but the timelines, the stated dates in the books overlap each other. So in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, he's alive all through the story, but he is also simultaneously dead at the same time during Mysterious Island. So, time travel, perhaps? A very mysterious island indeed. Is it the island from Lost, perhaps? There was time travel there. La da dee da 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 da. La da 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 la da 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 dum bum 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 bum. It's getting more dramatic. Da 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 dum dum dum. All right, let's see. Going back to my reference photo of Mr. Gamblin here, and ooh, very nice. There we go. Yeah, he's got some gray in his beard, so the easy way for me to do that actually is just going to go through and shade in this beard. Got some really nice dramatic mad science streaks. Good job, Brand. Good job. I used to look like this. Only like 4 or 5 years ago. Since then, I had a beautiful little girl, but my beard has gone almost completely gray. I look more like Alec Guinness. No. Sort of a homeless sea captain version of Alec Guinness, at least. I just felt a great disturbance in the force. Like 1,000 voices cried out all at once, and then were suddenly silenced. Alright, so there we go. I shade that in, and then I'll switch to. There we go, white pencil, and pencil in some white into the beard there. Could also just do this with an eraser if I wanted, but ta 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 ti ta 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 ya ta 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 tum. Excellent. And now back to the pencil, and let's finish up the rest of the outfit here. Yep, back to. Here we go. There's one weird little quirk in Clip Studio. I keep saying Manga Studio. Clip Studio Paint Pro is that you click out of the window to do something, you click back into the window, it'll often change the color of your brush. And I don't really know what's causing that. But it happens a lot, and so something to be aware of. Oops. Let's get rid of that line. First of all, let's put a buckle in to the strap right there. And this is one of the usefulness of the rotate tool here. I'm left-handed, and creating these curves works best with the arc of my arm if I rotate the page a little bit. And normally with a piece of paper, that's easy to do. And technically, since I'm using a Cintiq monitor, I could rotate the whole monitor, but then you guys wouldn't see that. The image would never rotate for you. And so it's just as clearer for how I work to show you that by using the rotate tool. Let's put some little Cthulian touches here on this here sword hilt. Ta 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 ti sha-na-na-na. So, oops. So, all right. So let's get these. Hands are always a hassle. They are our primary tool for interacting with the universe, and always the most difficult thing to draw. Probably because I think it's the thing we're most familiar with seeing. You know, like I said, the way we interact with the universe. But not so when something's wrong, it's obvious. But we don't make a habit of studying our hands unless we're really stoned. And as a result, we don't necessarily know what's wrong with a hand when we see a bad leader on hand. We just know that there is something amiss. And the whole thing makes it really difficult to draw. La ta 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 ti, sha ta ta ta, boom, boom, boom. Dun, 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 dun. Oops. There we go. And then a little nautilus shell there on his belt buckle. that. That there. There we go. Just using undo short keys is so much easier than an eraser. Yep, and the stream is resuming. Okay. All right. Stream resumed. All right. Kind of bloops in and out like that. I see. I wonder if there's a timer that I should set. If it happens at a specific time all the time, and if I just know that and I say, all right, I'm going to stop and start again. Da 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 da. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, this weekend is San Diego Comic-Con, and I really wanted something to take my mind off of it. I kind of miss going. I haven't been in 4 years, and I spent my whole life not going to Comic-Con. But then once I did start going, and as a professional artist, you get the bug. You want to go all the time, and but it's an expensive thing, and I could never really afford to go just on my own dime. I was always there as part of a company, and when they don't want to take you, and there's not really much you can do about it. So I'm just stuck here, holding down the fort, so to speak, and trying not to think about how much I want to be there. Talking about it is not helping, but it's therapy of a kind. I suppose. Let's see. Let's do this. That'll look nice. Again, this is not a final illustration. This is like a still. It's what I call a tight sketch that I'm working on here, rather than a full illo. Pull back and take a look at that sucker. Ooh, it's off kilter. One problem with the rotate tool is it's not entirely easy to reset it to 0. Ah! Why do you do this to me? See some of the places where I'm missing line work here. The line work just doesn't line up for me. That's what that was. It's a little side satchel. That's what I was drawing. And a little bit of a sash there, I think would be good. Considering that the belt is probably part of that sash, I should probably indicate that in the line work a little bit more. So we go like this. There we go. That's good. Let's see. I'm gonna put a little captain's lapels on this thing. Yada-da-da. Need to pick up some royalty-free music that I can play in the background if I do more of these. And if you would like to see me do more of these, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, and I'll do more. You know, if I get a lot of movement on this, it'll tell me that this is the sort of thing that people like to see me do. Take sketch suggestions online. Carve out a Saturday here or there from my intense freelancer schedule. Get some communal work done. Alright, that looks nice. Yeah. This is wonky, this area here. This whole from the scabbard. This scabbard connects to the hilt and everything. It's There's some distortion going on there. That is a bent blade. Let's see if I can fix it. Sometimes you just don't see these things right away. Or you think you're going to be able to fix it later. They creep up on you and just become ingrained into the line work. Until someone points it out, usually right after it's been sent to the printer or something. Alas and alack, such is the nature of art. You know, they say there are no mistakes in art. When I say they, I mean, of course, Bob Ross. There are no mistakes, only happy little accidents. That's nice. And they also say, I believe it's that no art is truly finished, only abandoned. That's a trick that's hard to remember when you're doing freelance art. There comes a time where you just have to stop adding to the piece and walk away because you got other things to get done. And there's a desire to get things perfect, which is madness. When every hour you spend on a piece essentially makes that piece cheaper and cheaper because you're wasting so much time. You're putting so much of your paid time into an illustration that is not, and that time is not increasing the amount of money you're getting paid. It's not like an hourly job where you get paid for the amount of time you spend on it. You get paid for the piece. So the quicker you can get it done, the more money you make per hour. And it's a hard thing for me to keep my head when I'm working on something because I just want, I want it to be like super awesome. I don't want to put my name on something that I'm not proud of in 10 minutes later. And I am a harsh critic of my own work, that's for sure. It took me a long time. Learning to draw took me a long time. But what has taken me far longer is learning to say thank you when people compliment my artwork instead of saying, yeah, well, that's wrong and this is wrong and whatnot. I think we lost our live stream. Stream resumed. So going good? Well, it's something, I guess. Still says it's streaming. Here. Well. No. Well, it looks like we lost the stream, so not sure how to get that started again, but I'm so close to being done on this. I'm just going to work on this, finish the recording here, and then upload the video later. Oh, back up? Okay, excellent. Well then, there's that. Like I said, I'm just going to try and finish up this background here and call the thing done. One of the nice things about Manga Studio is it's got some great ruler tools for drawing, all sorts of shapes and whatnot. In this case, what I want is I want a special ruler, not parallel line, concentric circle, and about that big. Boom. And now anything I draw on this layer will conform to that circle shape. So if I were to draw right, let's turn this reference layer down. And now if I were to draw on this layer, my pencil will be locked to this circular shape. See? You go boom, boom, boom. I don't want that, but, I could. I could do that if I wanted to. I just don't want to. Alright, there we go. Using this to create the porthole exactly where I want it to go and keep the shape even all the way around. Boom. Porthole complete. Then a separate layer. Let's create a nice hex bolty thing. I guess that's more of a pentabolt right there. A 5-sided bolt. And let's copy and paste that pentabolt. Boom. Paste. Boom. Paste. Boom. Dun, dun. Copy, paste. It's the final countdown. Ba-bum. And then I can just kind of rotate this around a little bit because I know I don't need to put in that last one. Yeah, supply the transform. Put that in there. I know some of these bolts are going to be hidden behind him, so I don't need to actually draw them all. That seems like good. There. I can see all the bolts I need to see. And then just merge that down with that layer. And let's work on this big old tentacle. This tentacryl. I might not even... I think that if I were doing this as an actual color piece, this tentacle would not even have much detail. I might just do it as a color shape, no line work at all. So it just becomes this slightly shadowy, slightly different shape in the window. Just off color from the whatever the color of the window itself would be. So you wouldn't see it necessarily, wouldn't necessarily draw focus away from the character standing in front of it. It would just be like a almost silhouette. And technically what I guess I'm drawing here is a giant octopus arm and not a giant squid arm. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure that they have these suckers, the squids. I know the octopus does. And they must, right? Because that's the sort of hallmark of the weird sucker marks on humpback whales come from the giant sea kraken, right? All right. Saturday SketchaThing. Is it still going? I cannot tell. Yeah, it looks like it's still up and running. Okay. It's weird, the little glitchy thing there at the bottom of the screen. I don't know what's causing that. Let's see if I can fix that later. Huh. Alright. No. Let's see. And let's do a Google image search for squid eye. Squid eye. What do those look like? Oh, that's right. They got the ones on the either side thing. Right? Images. Let's see. I want to take this. Yeah. Boom. And let's knock that down to there. Glue it out. And then on this layer, I want to hide all the stuff underneath Nemo himself. It's easier to do it this way, I think. Let's fill it in with a little bit of white. Oop. Alright, so there we go. Let's turn this back on, but let's knock the... No. That's, here we go. That's good. Like I said, not trying for a finished piece here, just a little bit of a... Hey, if I were going to draw this for you, it would look something like this. Shy. Alright, well, there we go. Okay. Alright. My stream is reconnecting, but basically I'm just calling to say, I'm not calling, I'm just sticking around to say that this is it. It's pretty much done. So enjoy. I hope you had a good time watching this. I think this has been a successful, if somewhat shaky. So that should I keep doing these as live streams, or should I just record them and edit out all the quiet parts? I could do the speed up of the video then and stuff, or maybe try a different streaming service. Do it on Google Hangouts or on Twitch. What would be most interesting for you? Please leave a comment, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends. This has been Cheyenne Wright and SketchaThing. Thank you very much.